each and every one of you for joining us for the live session. Chat below. And for those watching the replay, it's really important to watch the replay as well. Let me share with what's going on tonight. We've got Mark. He is the Chief Operating Officer of Truma. He's joining us to talk about one of their newest products to market, their air conditioning system. I think you're going to like it. I got a van tip for you that came from a viewer, and we're doing Libation Live. We're visiting Texas with Shiner Bock out of Shiner, Texas. And then I got a fun country music song for you. So big show. It always goes fast. There's my Libation Live Shiner. That's what the brewery looks like, by the way. Pretty cool. Shiner, Texas. Stickers. We're doing stickers. So if you're interested in stickers, go to my website and you can get stickers. Those are the 3 available. We got more coming soon, more designs. We're working overtime for you on that. And of course, we got Survey Says. This is about traveling around North America. You might find the answers surprising. And of course, it's all about your questions. So that's what we're doing from the get-go. Let me look at my other screen here quick. And oh, yes. If you are having a great day, give us a thumb up. Sure appreciate that. And if you're not having a great day, and by pushing the thumb up button, you'll probably have a better day. And coming at you from West Palm Beach area, Lake Worth. This is my final night at home base doing the What's Up Wednesday show. After this, it's going to be from all the different crazy places I go because our project is done. I've been living in my van in the backyard where I am broadcasting from tonight, so it's pretty groovy. But that's a lot in the final night. I cannot tell you how excited I am to say that. It's just so great. And where we're coming at you from, it's pretty warm here. Endless summer in southern Florida. It was 82, 84 degrees today. And man, I'm excited to get out of Florida into the cooler weather. I'm a cool cat. But where are you watching from? That's where we want to know. And if you're a country coming in from a different country than we've seen recently, be sure to put country down so we can get your country flag on the map. A couple weeks ago, we had we've had all kinds of all over the map, literally. Watch the show, so this is so great. Let me say hi just to a few folks here. Then we're going to bring Truma on. He's staying up late tonight to join us, and so I appreciate that. Mark, just stand by, Mark. From Truma, and here's Mark from Frisco, Texas. Chris, we see your comments here. We're going to cover those tonight, so thank you for putting those in early. Here's Sacramento's in the house where gas is really inexpensive. Northern Illinois, always good to see that. Hi, Jane and Roger. And Michigan's in the house, Rochester Hills. That's kind of outside Detroit, I think, right? We got Dave in the house. Gary's in the house. Oh, birthplace of Amelia Earhart. Oh my gosh, did not know that. The things you learn on What's Up Wednesday. Look at that. Good to see you, Ron, in upstate New York. This is great. Arlington, Texas. Love Arlington. Such a great town. Ontario, Canada. Hey, my goal is to get to Canada this year, assuming things stay cool. Sherry, welcome from New York. Mason Mike's in the house. Mason Mike says, I love my Shiner, and I do. It's true. So we've got some really great guests coming up. Again, we got Mark here from Truma in just a minute. But let me bring this on screen so you can see this. And Wingham, we have a meeting with Wingham next week to find a date in April to have those gentlemen on the show. We're really excited. They were just a huge hit at the Florida RV Super Show in Tampa in January, and I am really excited to have them on the show next week. So, or next month, April 20th, we're doing Airbnb. We're kind of know a few things about Airbnb. And if you RV, there's a way to turn your house on and off if you want to RV and make some money while you're out spending money. So that'll be a topic. And then April 22, we've got Embassy RV, my partner, joining us. Kind of ask Terry Minnick's VP there, the Van Pro, anything about an Embassy RV. And if you like any of that kind of content, subscribe to the channel. Van tours, places, and tips. That's what we're all about here. And I think with that, without further ado, we're going to bring Mark on. Mark, let me bring you on screen, sir. And it's just an honor to have you joining us tonight on What's Up Wednesday. Welcome.
Thanks, Scott. Great to be here.
And where are you coming in from tonight?
Well, surprisingly, and I know you'd like to head north of the border, I'm actually sitting north of the border right now as well. And I could see from your map where it was warm in the south there, it was kind of very blue in the north. So I'm coming from the Great White North right now.
That's amazing. Canada's like endless winter. It's like you got 60 days of summer, and then it's opposite of Florida. So
we can still get hot. it can still get hot in the summer as well, though. So you can enjoy
That
some
is
hot,
great.
sweaty days.
That's so great. Well, thanks again for coming on tonight. It was great seeing the Super Show, and I'm excited to talk about this topic. And what the topic is about is this. Let me show this for the folks. When we say Truma, this is what a lot of people think about, which is the the interface that's in their rig, and then the heater furnace, water heaters down below someplace inside a cabinet or something. But you guys are really into some different things. But maybe before we get there, just tell us a little bit about the history of Truma, because some people may not be aware of that.
Yeah, so deep history with the company, over 70 years old. Actually, the Truma was founded in just outside of in Munich in 1949 by Philip Kreis. And actually, the name Truma actually has some links back to the United States. Harry S. Truman, actually, Truma comes from Harry S. Truman. You can see in your post there a letter that Philip Kreis, the founder, actually wrote to Harry S. Truman, who was instrumental in supporting Germany with the Marshall Plan, which Truma benefited from and Philip Kreis benefited from. And he wanted to recognize the contribution that Truman made to supporting Germany and himself getting the country back economically. And he wrote a letter, and there's actually a return letter that came back from Harry S. Truman with his, I think at the time, presidents don't need to put stamps on letters or something like that. And so that letter still exists in our museum in Munich at our headquarters. So good tie back to the history there with the company. And in 2013, we actually founded the company here in the United States, and we've sent our headquarters in Elkhart, Indiana.
RV capital of the world.
Yes.
And you guys are good enough to send me some images. So what are we looking at here?
So that is our headquarters. That's County Road 6 for those of you that are familiar with Elkhart. We're just down the road from the RV Museum, and there you can see our building. This shows the solar panels that we have installed. We actually feed back into the grid. As an organization, we're still also very focused on environmentalism. This building is heated and cooled with geothermal heating, which is actually running through that parking lot. So we try to use some energy from the earth to actually heat and cool. That's cool. See, we're in the building. You'd see some of the technology as well that we've used to ensure that we're as environmentally friendly as we can be in the local area.
That is so awesome. Just love it when companies are, working to make a dent or less of a dent, right?
Right.
Let's see this image. So you guys, again, really famous for Truma combi and some of the other Vario water heat systems, but you're kind of into the new market space lately with these coolers. I've been seeing these, I think, in more vans, and I'm trying to think of the Pleasure Way van. Can't think of the name of it.
The Recon,
Truma, right?
the Recon
Recon, yeah,
4x4. Yep.
yeah.
So we released a line of coolers. We have 8 coolers that range from a 30 liter up to 105 liters of capacity in those coolers. They are very adaptable for not only the RV segment. You can see here more outdoor, off-grid use. They can run on 12 volt, 110 volts, so you can plug them into your lighter, or likewise, you can bring it into your kitchen at home and extend your kitchen. Or if you're going to a tailgate or going to a kid's soccer game, they make a great addition to keeping the food from getting soggy with melted ice. So no, you can make ice. You don't need to run out and spend money on ice anymore.
That's pretty cool. I love this contraption this guy has. This is something else. I don't think it would work for me, but that's really cool.
Yep.
And this it was taken with another cool shot of a fancy rig. But again, heat and hot water systems, things you guys are really well known for in the industry. And what we want to talk about tonight, though, specifically is this, the Aventa.
Yep.
It's your new entry into the air conditioning space. Caught my eye. We made a video with one of your colleagues there at the Super Show. So hope tonight just do a little bit deeper dive on kind of even why get into the AC market. It seems, tell us why.
Yeah, that's a great question. Obviously, we've grown up with heating. You showed a couple of systems there: the combi, the Vario heat. The all-day system is our hydronic heating system, which we also offer to the market and is supplied around the world. Um, One of the gaps that we see or saw in the North American market was air conditioning and providing a complete cooling system for the comfort when you're inside your camping recreational vehicle. And we wanted to make sure that we brought the right product to market. So we took our time, we studied the market, trying to understand a little bit more about what the market needs were. And we wanted to provide a complete comfort. So not just the heating side, but also the cooling side. And our system actually will connect where you can actually have an automatic climate control system, and you can set temperature to 71 degrees. If it gets warmer, the air conditioner will come on. If it gets cooler into the evening, the heater will actually turn itself on as well. So we wanted to offer the highest level of quality in a comfort system as possible.
That's amazing. So just like your thermostat at home.
Yes. Yep.
A
Similar
residential
technology.
environment.
Yep.
Very cool. Excuse me. So this is a bit of an eye chart, folks. I apologize, but I want to show some of the specs. And we're going to cover some of these in some detail. I know a lot of you are really curious about why a 120 volt, I certainly was, versus a 12 volt where some of the market is going. But so just take it, this is on their website, and we're going to talk about a few of these items. The ones that caught my eye was the 120 volt air circulation, the dehumidification mode. I kind of assumed air conditioners already did that anyway. You guys did a little different twist on that.
Yep.
And then night mode, you can tell us about that. But let's look at this, because I think you've got some charts to show you in a second on the quietness. What's the biggest complaint from RVers about their air conditioning system?
Well, definitely noise is probably the number one issue, and we saw it as well. We're also campers in North America, and to be honest with you, until we got our air conditioner, I tried to avoid turning the air conditioner on. You would either stay in cooler places or you would run the fan and open some windows to try and get some airflow across, because the noise from the air conditioning can be a little bit deafening. So that was definitely a priority for us. The construction of the product itself, with the components that we use, help to dampen. You can note it on here as well. You can see the base of the unit is a foam that helps absorb some of the noise and the vibration from the components operating. We've got dampening, and you probably saw it when you're in Tampa. And for those that have been to our booths, you can see our compressor is mounted on a spring mount with rubber dampeners as well. So we spend a lot of time understanding where that noise is coming from and trying to reduce it as much as possible within the system. The fans that we chose, all those things are meant to be a complete system within the unit. And, going right down, and you asked the question about power, 12 volt, 110 volt, the complete balance of the condenser, the evaporators, and those fans make up a lot of engineering technology and know-how. We've been producing air conditioners on the global market for about 15 years. And so we brought that technology, but we knew we had to be more focused on noise for the American market, as well as having the output that is required to heat some of these larger vehicles.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me, because I think there's kind of three, in my van experience, there's two noise points and vibration. And vibration is so apparent to me when my compressor kicks on, and the fact you kind of are addressing that head on is really pretty amazing to me. And I'm and the second noise point is inside. Now I've moved up to a Coleman Mach 3 NDQ, which is about 10 to 12 decibels quieter than what came with my Travado. And it was like a hurricane before. Now you can actually do these shows with the AC running, because the other one was too noisy. You actually couldn't do it. Right. But the noise outside the van, I am very sensitive to, because it allows me to go places where I can be stealthy and street camp in a hot, humid, I don't know, Bristol, Tennessee in a June, and because there's very little noise on the outside. And you guys are addressing outside noise as well, right?
Oh, to be honest with you, the outside, we've tried to minimize the inside noise as much as possible. The outside noise is negligible. You don't even know that the unit is running. And to be honest with you, when we were doing field tests, and I was in a vehicle that had one installed, I would often have to go back inside the vehicle when I was outside because I couldn't tell if it was still running or not. So there is a in Europe, I think the concept of people being able to enjoy the outdoors and still run their air conditioner is critical for people, and they don't want to be disturbed while they're enjoying the experience outside of the vehicle. And therefore, our engineers are very conscious of outdoor noise, and
Yeah.
they've done a fantastic job. Almost eliminating that level of noise that you hear on the or you don't hear on the outside of the vehicle.
Yeah, after a generator kind of droning in the distance is probably my second biggest irritant is listening to a big old
Yeah.
AC unit running. Let me share this. We got some questions, Mark, they're coming in, but let's have we talk about noise here, and I'm
Yes.
going to zoom in so folks can see it. But it's a little bit of a chart of competitor versus Truma Aventa, and the competitors there in red, and maybe just kind of walk us through what this is. There's a high fan and then a low speed. And again, the decibels are not, there's only like a 10, 15 decibel difference, but that is huge in the noise world, right?
Yeah. So there's very noise is measured on an exponential chart. So a small change in that higher range makes a large difference. So this actually shows two things. We've kind of noted where the decibel levels are. This actually shows you as well. We have 4 different speeds. You can see here that, yeah, on the highest level, it's going to draw the highest level of amp draw as well, where you get around that 10.4 amps. But you can see the competitor product in red there. They're on high. The noise level is consistent. Our high is less amp draw. The noise is high, but our goal with the high setting is we almost think of it as a boost setting. The goal is to get the temperature down as quickly as possible inside the vehicle so that it will stage down to the low speed. And then you can see as we get down into low speed, we're running around 9 amps draw and around 62 decibels at that range. This is over time. And actually, you'll see in your other, I think there's another chart that you have there. What our goal was is we're actually focused on how quickly can we get the unit down to a comfortable living environment, right? So yeah, this chart here I think helps. It ties back into the current consumption and the noise levels, and you can see here we do a 6-hour test with the air conditioner. Within 2 hours, we have this gray or bluish zone there we call the comfort zone. That is the zone where you start to feel comfortable on your body, and you probably experience it as well. Being in Florida, you start to sweat. You feel the heat in the space. So, and you touched on it earlier, air conditioner is focused not only on cooling, but also conditioning the air and removing that moisture. That comfort zone is where people feel comfortable. Within 2 hours, and this is our goal and objective on the engineering side, is to get as quickly as possible into that comfort zone so that people feel comfortable in their environment. And that's our whole goal as a company, is to build systems that bring comfort. And you can see here that we dropped from 96 degrees Fahrenheit down to 74 degrees within that 2-hour window, and then the humidity is also dropped. You can see the competitor unit as well, the red line. The humidity is actually starting to increase, so it cannot remove that moisture and that feeling, and it never actually gets you into this comfort zone that people unconsciously know that they feel comfortable there with regards to the wicking of moisture off their skin.
And in a high humidity environment, like Florida, perhaps, it's so
Yes.
critical.
Yes.
in high deserts, or Arizona may not be as that big a deal, but Texas, even Illinois, Elkhart gets humidity. It's just such a killer on the inside of the van.
Right.
So I'm kind of excited to show these next couple of pictures, and I'm getting your questions. I promise we got some good questions coming in. So what we looking at here? You drove a van into, I don't know, a cooler. What is this thing?
That's our big metal box. No, that's actually our climate chamber. So again, we invest quite heavily into the technology to support ensuring that the what we're delivering to customers is the highest level possible. This is a 14-foot wide by 14 feet high by 53-foot long box, big metal box that's fully insulated, including the floor. The floor has special insulation. We can heat that space up to over 100 degrees, as well as we can cool it down to minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit. So it gives us the ability to both heat and cool vehicles, to test both air conditioning and our heating systems. And we take a lot of pride in ensuring that we are able to exceed. We brought over some of the European standards for our heating systems, and we actually test. And most recently, we actually tested an Ember trailer for those. This is a new entry to the market. They're come storming in. We did some heating tests. They're actually using the Truma combi inside this trailer, and we did some tests recently with their trailer inside the climate chamber, so that we could actually prove out that the distribution of the heat is optimized inside that trailer. So we try to go through as closely as possible, working with the manufacturers and our design team to ensure that we make the heating profile as efficient as possible. So whether we're cooling or heating, we're focused on comfort.
I also love that. I love my Truma combi. It's just the greatest little system, and so bulletproof. I don't think I've ever had a problem with mine. The only problem I have is when I go wash the rig, I always manage to turn the propane off on the outside, and I have to jump out and turn it on. That's operator error. That happens all the time. Okay, we got some good questions coming in here, Mark. Let me put them on screen for you. The first one comes from Mark, and this was kind of our list of things to cover. I think, will Truma ever make a gasoline-powered combi? It would be cool to have a propane-free Travado. There's kind of a trend for chassis fuels to be the fuel source for heat, hot water. What's your thinking on this currently? Good question.
That's a great question from a great named guy named Mark. So definitely we are looking at alternative fuels. We recently released the combi in a diesel version. So we do currently have a product that will run on diesel. Gasoline is we're working with our engineering team, and we hope in the future that we will have something that we can offer to the market. Definitely, going with a single fuel, and I know people have those concerns with having single fuel operations. Propane still packs a lot of energy in a very dense area, and it is very efficient and very clean to burn. So, but we understand the market and where the market is going, and we are constantly looking at and gathering that feedback from the market. So Mark, don't give up on us. We'll get there.
Yeah, it's always amazing to me, propane, how much hotter my Truma combi heat comes out. There's an electric furnace option that, by the way, you only do when you're plugged into shore power. You're not running off your Volta system, because it's the most consumptive electrical appliance in the van, which shocks everybody.
Yeah.
But propane, I go down to about a half, maybe a third of a tank, and then I fill up a half a tank about 5 times a year because it is so efficient. It's just the greatest system. So that was a good question. Thank you, Mark. There was one, so I'm not sure how to say the handle here. But thinks having an integrated heating cooling is a great feature.
He's on the rocks.
Yeah, right. On the rocks. So we're going to do Libation live. Mark's got a little treat for us. Maybe not on the rocks though. So they're excited about that. Deborah has a question, Mark. Does the Aventa fit into a Travado GL? She has a 2020 and a half, which is essentially the 2021 model. Probably getting a lot of questions, including for me. Can I replace my my unit with one of your fancy new ones?
Yeah. So Scott, that again is a question that we've been fielding for a while. Our goal when we launched and when we developed the product was to focus on new equipment, working with our OEM partners to support them with the right technology. So we did not focus on designing the product to be immediately retrofittable with existing products. My engineering team is working on plans, and right now we are still early in the launch. We're supporting our OEMs to get product into the field. We touched in the green room about supply chain issues. That continues to plague the industry. We're not one of those people that is causing those problems, but we want to ensure that the OEMs have the product that they need to get their products launched. There are several OEMs that have already started installing the units, and our focus first was with them. So we hope later this year that we'll be able to communicate better to the market when we'll have the ability to introduce it into an aftermarket. There is a plan. We're still working through that though.
Yeah, and Chris, one of the first comments was, Truma sold to consumers. Normally they're sold to the OEMs, and you really don't sell to that's your customer, right? With the end focus on the customer experience, the comfort of the actual end user customer. But that would be, you'd have a pretty big sizable upgrade business, I think, coming out of that.
Yeah,
which kind of fits. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's important to understand as well that we do understand that there is that aftermarket. We want to ensure that the quality of the install is done properly. We're very focused on service as well. So even if we do introduce it to the aftermarket, it will be sold through our dealer partners or through our mobile service techs. Yeah. We have mobile service techs in 5 states right now where people with a combi or a Truma product installed can seek service or support through our support line, either online or through a direct phone call.
That's so cool. Kind of going down the same path a little bit. Kathmandu, I see your question. Hang tight. On the Rocks wants to know, does it fit the standard 14 by 14 roof incision? So I assume that's the hole that's cut in the top of the van. Is that?
Yes. So we did.
No special adapters, huh?
We did try to minimize the impact to the OEMs, and we've kept the standard 14 by 14 cutout. Our unit is, and you showed some pictures there. Our unit is a little bit longer and wider. That allows us to get a lower profile on the roof, which again is becoming more critical for people as they're trying to be more efficient as they're driving down the road. You showed some of the pictures there with the curved condenser as well. That made the unit a little bit longer, so there would be some manipulation on the roof. We've done several. We had several people who were supporting us, some Travato owners as well that were supporting us with our field tests. Sometimes you have to move a solar panel front and back. So it's not necessarily the ideal situation when you're taking an existing product and trying to modify it and shoehorn it into something that the OEMs have spent a lot of time configuring the roof space. There's satellites on the roof. There's antennas and spouts coming out. So those are all things that our team is looking at, and we want to be able to support people that want to have the best equipment in the market.
Yeah, that's a great point of kind of, because very limited real estate on the roof of a van. So you really need to make it work. But I'm really excited about the slim profile. When I saw them, and I think I've seen them in Coachman, Nova, and beyond. And I think Winnebago, a towable model had it.
Yeah, so
are there others
the micro mini, and then you mentioned one of your colleagues there who's also a blogger. He was one of our test sites as well. So he's been traveling around Traveling Robert, yes. So he's been testing one of the units for us as well. And Winnebago Towables has now launched that FLX model, which has our Aquago, our Vario heat furnace, and the Truma Aventa rooftop air conditioner as a comfort package that they can offer to their customers.
Well, I'm rolling through Elkhart probably midsummer, so if you need a beta tester, I'm putting my hand up. I'm happy to remove my solar panels. In fact, you can take them off when you're up there. Yeah. That's awesome to hear. And Coachman, is it the Beyond and the Nova, not the Galleria, or is it all three?
I believe so right now. Yeah, I know
I saw them in those two.
there's at least two vehicles. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry,
So get a Truma
I'm
air
a little bit
conditioner. Go buy a
old,
new van.
Scott. I'm a little bit older than you. My brain capacity to absorb all those
It's been a
details
long day,
is a
sir.
little bit
No
lacking. Yes.
problem. Okay, we've got some more good questions coming in. Catmandu,
Okay.
we've got a van tip here in just a few minutes, so stay tuned for that. See how fast this hour goes. So Catmandu wants to know, great to have these guys on. Yeah, give him a thumb up for having Mark on tonight. He's passing a dinner hour at home. What is the power draw in watts for the lowest cooling and max cooling? And is there a surge in power when it first comes on?
This
Kind of
guy must be
technical.
he must be an engineer
It
drawing
might be,
those
right?
questions. um, I would have to go and dig and pull my engineering guys out to get into that technical level of all air conditioners. When the compressor starts, there is an up ramp. In that, we've done the testing to ensure that again, working with the OEMs, we ensure that the power supply to the unit is balanced with the system that they have on board. And this is again where it opens up some things that we need to look at before we can introduce it to existing inverters, and if you want to run it off your lithium system, and just ensuring that we can offer the best comfort to the consumer or the camper later on, that there's not big surprises. And in watts, the power draw, yeah, I'd have to pull out my electronics books to do the math on what the watts draw would be on the lowest. I think we showed I think on the amp draw, I think, I don't remember the watts. I think it's volts times amps or something equals
Yeah, I'm trying to get
watts.
back to that.
Um,
This one.
but we're running around 9.4 amps on the low setting and up to around 10 and a bit on the high setting. So on 120 volt system, I think all the parameters are there, and I'd have to pull out my
Well, let's
my
do this.
calculator.
So I inevitably don't answer a few questions. We run out of time, Mark. So I'll put this on the follow up, and then we do
Okay.
a separate video on Sundays. I post them when we get enough questions, and we'll put this on that list because it's important for folks to know this. And again, you're bringing some different twist on the AC, so we'll get that answered for you. Great question, Catmandu. Let's bring this back on. So somebody's got a hot tip here. Taste the meat, not the heat. So that's good. Let's see, Lars, I see your question. Let's go. So we kind of answer this, or who's currently installing them in units. So it's towable by Winnebago and Nova and
Coachman.
Beyond.
We have Coachman. We have Winnebago. We also have some. You mentioned going to Canada again. We have two manufacturers in Canada who were quick to jump on board. One is Panoramic. I don't know if you've gotten to one of those. If you're heading up into Canada,
cool.
visit them in Montreal, as well as Safari Condo. Safari Condo is started to use the product as well. So they've been a long-time partner with us. Very European design, and they've been using the combi and the Vario Heat combination for several years as well.
That is, I got to see the Panoramic in person at a channel roundup that we did. They're really cool, really attractive, awesome floor plan. It was pretty interesting. So I'm glad you guys are working with them.
And there will be more. There will be more coming out. I can't really talk about them until they're live right now. So we're still working through with our engineers. Actually, I have something here. Somebody just sent me something. I guess some of my team is listening in as well. So
That's awesome.
I have some numbers here. Power consumption in watts on the Echo unit is 1,260 watts. That probably doesn't answer fully the question because I think he was looking for that range. But definitely, we'll take that question away, Scott, and we'll get you some answers for your list for your watchers.
I appreciate that. Let's see. I'm looking for. I thought I saw one more. We're trying to get the coolant. There's a couple that are not related that I might. Bear with me, folks. I'm looking for. Mark, you mentioned you have an RV. What do you have, a towable?
Um, we have I use my work RV, so we have a Winnebago, actually a Trend that we
Oh,
use
oh,
for testing, that we've outfitted with our equipment on it, and um,
sweet. You're a
uh,
laboratory on wheels.
the laboratory.
So Denim, so you can help answer this too. So Denim wants to know, do you use paper maps, atlases? If so, could you recommend? How do you guys navigate to places? Do you use your, I don't know, Google Maps or Apple Maps or?
How do we? How do? Yeah, I mean, I love Google. I MapQuest. I use MapQuest. I'm a little bit old school.
Wow,
Do you remember
that
MapQuest?
is, I do. Yeah, we should
That's
print
it's
them out.
aging. It's aging, people. If
Uh,
you talk about MapQuest, yeah. There's
yeah,
nothing better. There's nothing better than having a printed out map of multiple pages, driving through Europe with words of streets that are about 14 letters long, and trying to read the sign when you're driving on the German autobahn at 105 miles an hour, while trying to look at a map going around a corner. So yeah, it can be to use
that
paper
is.
maps.
And by the way, the addresses are on the side of the street signs are on the side of the buildings. A lot of them,
Yes,
so they're not even signs, are on the sides of buildings, which is a couple more points I want to cover with the folks. And then we'll do van tip. Bear with us, folks. So going back to the content here, Mark. So there's two models: the Aventa Eco
yes.
and Comfort. I think the Eco is more for, assuming, for van, smaller size spaces,
Mhm.
and Comfort for the larger.
Yeah, so the Echo is a 13,500 BTU per hour cooling capacity, and the Comfort is for larger vehicles, 15,000 BTU hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if people want to learn more, the website probably is a great place right now. It's
Yep.
truma.net, ladies and gentlemen, not .com. So .net is a great place. There's a little video there. There's some really great Q&A that are answering a lot of the questions that are coming up here tonight. Here's another shot of the beautiful door. And the one I wanted to tell us about this. What are we looking at here if you're in the Elkhart area?
Your screen. Oh, sorry. Yeah, your screen was a little bit frozen there. So yeah, so we also have two service bays in our Elkhart facility, which we can handle the largest RVs that can be built. So here we are servicing, or we do retrofits of water heaters. So the Truma AquaGo is one of the units that we actually designed to be retrofittable in existing products. So we can remove your existing your tanked water heater, and upgrade it with the latest technology in on-demand instant hot water. So our service technicians in our facility here can take the vehicle in. If you need to park overnight, or coming in or going out. I know you love that picture. We do have two pads that you can hang out on. During the warmer weather, we have water. We always have electricity there. And those sites are first come first serve for people coming into our service center. So we do support service in Elkhart, and we also have a brick and mortar in Lakeland, Florida, for people that are in the Florida area, where they can also bring their vehicle in. We also have mobile in Florida. We have a mobile service tech in Texas. We have a mobile service tech in Phoenix, and we recently added mobile service techs in the Denver area, as well as in the Nashville area. So our goal is to not only to sell products, but we also want to support the customers. And if they do have issues, we don't like to have issues, but they do happen, and we want to be able to support the customers across the area. And we have hundreds of dealers who have been trained on our products as well, to help support and service them.
That is so cool. Again, I just love my Truma. It's been one of the most bulletproof systems in the van.
We
Just,
try to focus on reliability.
yeah. And there's just something
How old is your vehicle now? 3 years?
so I've been living for a little over 3 years, but I picked it up October 2018,
Okay.
and there's just something. What's the right word? When you're using propane heat, there's something so satisfying to hear the system spin up. You can hear the electronic spark, and you can hear the very faint, and then it smells. It gets hot. There's just something so satisfying about this thing doing its job. and it's just, I think you'll see a little steam coming out the side of the vent on the outside of
Yes,
the van,
yes.
and it's just, I just get a big charge out of turning on the propane for hot water, going to a rest stop. We turn the hot water on half hour away, and when I get there, I stop, I shower, and there's just something magic every time I get in. It's like I'm like a kid with his new van for the very first day. So you guys
That's
really,
good to hear.
I shower
Good
my
to hear.
van like 2 or 3 times a week. It's crazy. We got a couple more things to do, but I just want to say, are you able to stick around, Mark? We got some other questions coming in. Otherwise, we turn you
Yeah,
loose
no
if it's
problem.
summertime. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll keep the questions coming in. And what we want to do right now, I think, is let's give a thumb up for Mark. We are going to move to the survey says. This is something we've started doing recently. I'm just kind of getting curiosity about people's thinking about different things. So we had 2 questions this week. In your class RV van, would you rather travel to and stay in the mountains, travel to or stay at the beach, or travel to and stay in small town historic districts? And it was pretty unanimous. Everybody said to the mountains, where you will not find me, by the way. And I've tried the beach, and it's interesting, but everything gets full of sand, and I lost interest real fast. So where you'll find me is in the small town historic districts where there's cool history and beverages. So that's so thank you. We had almost over 300 votes for that. So thank you for participating. This one might interest you, Mark. The question was, traveling in your van, would you rather travel to and be around in Mexico? So travel to Mexico and stay in Mexico, travel to and stay in Canada, travel around the United States, and Canada, far winter. And this year, I'm really excited to get to um, Canada, and then travel around the U.S. and down into Mexico. Not a lot of interest in that, which is good because I don't have any interest in doing that either at this point. So I'm
Where are
coming to
you where are
Canada.
you planning to go, Scott? Have you got some plans already in Canada?
I do. We're headed up to. I'm going up through Maine and Vermont, so that Newfoundland,
Okay.
Nova Scotia,
Yeah.
and then come down into Toronto,
Okay.
Montreal, Quebec. If I can overnight camp in Quebec, the old city up there on the hill, I will achieve a huge bucket list for my van life.
That is a beautiful. Quebec City is one of the most beautiful cities that I've been to in North America. So it is
It's so cool.
mixture
Uh,
of ancient, well, not ancient, but little bit of history, like you don't get to see. You have to go to Europe to see, right? So there's not too many places to see there. And if you get up to Nova Scotia, make sure that you make your way around the Cabot Trail.
Cabbage Trail?
Cabot?
Cabot Trail.
The Cabot Trail. And there's a
Okay.
single malt whiskey distillery on the Cabot Trail. It is the oldest single malt whiskey distillery in North America.
Wow. That may, in fact, be on the destination list then.
Yeah, it should be on your destination list, yes.
That's pretty amazing. I'll have to send you an email so you can remind me of that.
Okay.
Let's share van tip, and this is kind of a fun one. I can take no credit for this, and that's what we like to do here on this channel. I don't know everything, that is for sure, but we learn together, we share together, and then you decide what's the best way for you to RV. My van tip this week came from a viewer, and this was new to me. I'd never seen this before, and she had recommended. I couldn't find the email where she recommended this, so I apologize. I can't give credit where credit is due, but flag fold your shopping bags. And that's a shot of my folded shopping bags under my counter. It fits in my Instapot pot. I used to have a plastic shopping bag full of bags. It was just a nightmare. And there's all kinds of videos on how to do this on YouTube. You start with your bag flat. Many of you probably do this already. I'm been doing it for a month. And then you end up with little things like this. And it's just the greatest space-saving tip in the van. So thank you to whomever suggested that. And if you're not doing it, give this a try. There's literally a 90-second video on YouTube you can watch on how to do it. But she said to fold it up like a flag and tuck in the flap. And that's does your wife do this at home, Mark, for you guys? You ever seen this before?
I don't want to get into a plastic bag discussion, Scott. Might be
okay.
I
Let's
might be
keep it to air
divorced. I might
conditioning.
be divorced afterwards.
Okay, fair enough. So that's the van tip. We got Libation Live coming up in just a couple minutes. Let's get a couple more questions answered. Let's see. I see a couple more coming in here. This is kind of a funny one, Mark. I'm not sure if they're being serious or not, but on the rocks, love that handle now that you figure out how to say it. Beautiful. Are you hiring sales or business development people?
Send us your resume.
Always hiring.
The team is growing, and we need good people.
Yeah, right. And that's the key. Is they're always looking
Especially
for good
people with big, nice tag names there on the rocks.
on the rocks. That's so funny. Okay, so let's do Libation Live. It's always my favorite part of the program. The whole program is really part of my favorite. So we're gonna do the Shiner Bock tonight. So I actually sent off for glasses at home base. So I actually have Shiner glasses now that I can have my Shiner Bock beer in. So if you're joining us for a toast, Mark, what are you drinking? Are you drinking distilled water? What is that?
Distilled water. Yeah, it's some Georgian Bay whiskey. So when you come up to Canada, this is another area that you can visit.
Oh, that's nice. Ooh, there was nothing finer than a Shiner on What's Up Wednesday. Wow.
Oop.
Cheers, Mark.
Cheers. Sorry.
Cheers for joining us tonight. Really appreciate that. Cheers, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Raise a glass. That is so delightful. I'm curious if you've tried a Shiner. Have you ever tried Shiner beer, Shiner Bock?
No, I have not. Is that a porter, or is it just a dark?
It's a Bock style, so it's kind of an ale, like a cream ale, okay. I would say. It's so delicious. It doesn't taste like it looks. It's way mild. It comes out of Shiner, Texas. Population 2,600 people. It's the only place they make it. So it's imported from everywhere outside of Texas, and now you can get it at Walmart, which is great. And I just had one of my best van experiences because a viewer turned me on to this, and I went to go down to the distillery, the brewery, and spent the night at the city park camp. It was so much fun. I got to learn about the beer. There's something about meeting the people making the stuff you enjoy. It just sinks in.
That's the great thing about van life, right, Scott? You can travel to those places, get those different experiences.
Yes, I know.
Uh-oh.
Republic of Korea in the house. Look at that, Steven. Oh. That's cool. That's nice. He had a comment here that was kind of, Steven says, dream system, Truma for heat and cold, new AC, gas-powered Truma combi, 5-gallon hot water heater with Bluetooth LCD screen with remote monitoring. That's a great point, Steve. That is a dream team. Mark, tell us about your connectivity. So some are doing apps, some are doing remotes. What are you guys doing to connect to a new Truma furnace when I get one on my roof at some point?
So right now, you're familiar with the CP Plus unit. We're kind of in the next evolution for our control panel. You might have seen something if some people go to our follow our European. They're a little bit they release the things a little bit ahead over there. So in Europe, we've already gone to the next phase of the control panel, and we're working through the standards and certifications for North America. So we hope to probably late next year, you'll start to see some rollouts of a new panel, which will give you that near field and far field connectivity that people are looking for in their homes. As well as being able to operate all of the equipment that Truma offers. We are already heavily integrated with within the vehicles. You talked about Coachman. Coachman uses an integrated panel. Our system is fully integrated into that panel already, and there are several other OEMs that we partner with to ensure that the experience is comfortable for the user as much as possible. But yeah, it's definitely an exciting time for technology, and we're looking at how we can also better service the products by being connected to them remotely. We already have some connectivity there. Our service team can go on site and connect. I can connect my laptop directly to our units and download data from them, but the future state would be having that remote connectivity where we could actually log in to your heater and kind of diagnose it from far away, or when you're in your car and it tells you that it's time to go get an oil change, and then it all of a sudden gives you a list of car dealerships where you can take it. So I think the future is still exciting, and we're still working through kind of what everybody has their own idea of what's ideal for them, and trying to gather that that feedback from the consumer side as well.
Yeah, and I think I ask this often, what are some trends, or I get asked, and I think the connected vehicle for an RV, the systems, I'm sure it's not easy because you got all these separate manufacturers, but through Firefly like Coachman, it can be done. The next step is being able to see the condition of a system away from the rig. So I know it's a pretty heavy lift, and it takes standards and communication protocols and blah blah blah. But
Yes.
I think with the lithium being kind of a trend,
that's a good answer. So you're aware of some of those constraints in the bus system and things, right? So,
yeah. But it'd be fun to see how much people would be willing to pay for a connected RV. Time will tell.
Yeah, I think it's coming faster than we think, and the costs are coming down to make those connections. So.
Yeah, it's so true. We kind of talked about this a little bit, but A. Joyce has a question comment. So just kind of reiterate this. So Truma needs to allow DIY installation of combi products. I would love to put one in my van conversion. We'll have to use other brands because Truma won't sell to individuals. That's just your business plan at this point, but there are some changes maybe like on the AC sold through a dealer, so you would never really ship one to a customer because of service, installation, things like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it does come back to that reliability and service ability, and it's not that we know that most DIY people are very conscious of what they're doing, especially when it comes to gas appliances. There are liability and legal issues that we want to ensure that we're doing things as safe as possible. We're growing our organization as well, and you need to have the necessary support in place to ensure that if there is a problem when those installations happen, that we can support them from a technical service side as well. So it is always on our radar. We do hear those questions, and right now our current strategy is that we sell through OEMs, and we do sell through certain products through select dealers. The coolers that you showed, though, we're more than happy to ship one of those direct to you right away. So, you can still own a Truma product.
And there you go. That's cool. I love this comment here from Travel Dreamer. Says, thank you for interviewing with Scott. I've been waiting since the Tampa show. Definitely worth it. So thumb up for Mark for joining us tonight. And this Ohio TJ, I guess, mineral water tonight, Grey Goose and ginger ale with a twist of lime this weekend. Oof, wait until the weekend. Okay, no problem.
Wait till the weekend.
I know, cheers. This is so much fun. All right, looking for a couple more comments or questions. Let's see. Let me look at my questions. Really quick, this might get... so I found Mark on the specs that... Oops. Cheers, Scott. Thank you, Wayne. That there was kind of several different modes. Let me see if I can get these right. There's a night mode, a dehumidify, and an air circ mode. So can you kind of explain what those are for us?
Sure. The different modes. Let me just refresh my brain as well. So the night mode, if you recall, on that chart, we actually showed our lowest dB level on the night mode. So we reduced that is meant to be the quietest mode for while you're sleeping.
Okay.
We will reduce but not only the indoor noise, but as well further the outdoor noise. I don't know how we can get it much quieter, but we also reduce the outdoor noise. So it's when you're, like you said, I think we were very focused, and I think there's a lot of people that want to be stealth. We're very aware of the stealth users, and that was critical for us. We talked about the air circulation modes, so that'll keep the fans running even when the cooling is not operating, to keep some airflow happening. And then you talked earlier about the dehumidification. So again, an air conditioner is meant to remove some of that humidity, but when you don't just strictly want to cool, vehicles can get kind of humid as well, and we want to be able to. We have a special feature on our system where we can just dehumidify inside the vehicle as well.
That's interesting. That's really fascinating to me, because in Florida, it may get cool at night, cool enough at night to not use the AC. But if I'm bringing in the outdoor air, it's so humid in the morning. The humidity on my meter here is like 80 or 90% humidity
Right.
inside, and it's so uncomfortable. I almost have to turn my Truma furnace on to get rid of the humidity because it's that bad. Because I don't, it evaporates pretty quickly when I'm doing that. But
Right.
like right now, it's 75 degrees in here. It's 56% humidity. That's
Mm-hmm.
comfortable. I prefer it in the 40s,
Right.
but I've turned it down. But that is really an interesting thing that you can dehumidify without having it cool for those nights where you're drawing in cool, humid air, which makes it totally uncomfortable for me anyway. So I'm really glad to hear that. Let's share the song of the week. We do this. I discovered country music, Mark. My first few months of the van, it's a long story. Blown Away by Carrie Underwood was the song, and just one of the best. So now we share movie or a song of the week, and here's my song of the week for everyone. And you can send in your suggestions as well. We always love to have your suggestions. So here's my song of the week for you to try out. It's by the Zac Brown Band. It is a fun toe tapping song called Chicken Fried. And if you haven't heard this, spin this up on your favorite music app system service, and I think you will find this to be just a delightful little song. It's got a little patriotic thing in the middle, which is pretty cool, but it is just a great little song. Have you heard this one before, Mark?
No, I have not.
No? Are
Not
you a
not
country
necessarily my
music?
genre.
No. Okay. What's your genre?
Probably everything but that.
Everything but that. Fair enough.
No, actually, I shouldn't say that. I do. I try to be as eclectic as I can, listening to various types of music. I would. Funny enough, my children do like to partake in the country music songs, so I do get to listen to them every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can tell you,
It's
there's nothing on my what's that thing called, my iTunes, that probably has some country floating through it.
But we had some hard rock on a couple weeks ago. We are kind of all over the place here too.
Okay.
So Travel Dreamer's got a great comment here. Says dehumidifier great for travelers and van lifers with lung issues, and I think that's where I get my perpetual nasal drip is from the humidity and all the spores floating around in it. So they're pretty excited. Um,
But as well, that chart that I showed you earlier, Scott, as well, getting into being able to pull not only the heat down but as well control the humidity is something that we're very focused on. And you said it as well. I think you just touched on it. You checked your humidity and temperature inside the van, and there's that zone where you feel comfortable, right? And it's somewhat unconscious, but we can actually chart it kind of in a thermodynamics way to actually show that this is a comfortable area to be in, with where your humidity and your temperature are ideal for kind of living in.
Because it's really uncomfortable to have high humidity and cold. Then I actually get cold.
Yes.
But if it's low humidity and 75 degrees in here is pretty easy, it's really comfortable. So I'm glad you guys are addressing that head on, because I get asked all the time about humidity in the van, and I've not had anything molding or anything like that, even living in it. But I can tell you, if you spend all your time in a high humidity environment, Arkansas, well, they probably have some too, but Louisiana, high humidity, Florida, I mean, just addressing this issue is so important for so many good reasons. So, well, with that, we are going to say thank you, Mark. Another What's Up Wednesday in the can. Cheers to you, sir, for staying up late and helping us out. And just thank you, everybody, for watching the show tonight and watching the replay. We'll see you next Wednesday. We're going solo, and we'll have a big show for you. And Mark, thanks again, sir. Really appreciate it. Hang
Thanks,
out
Scott.
in the green room here. And good night, everybody. We'll see you soon. And please have fun. Journey on.